This is the read aloud for questions 10, 11, and 12 on the Unit 1 test, Literature with a Purpose. Please be sure that you have listened to the read aloud excerpt from the Red Badge of Courage prior to listening to and answering these questions. Number 10. One theme that emerges over the course of the novel is that war is a savage, ugly affair that permanently changes those soldiers who survive it. How does this section of the novel work to develop that theme? Answer choice 1. By focusing primarily on the life of the main character before he enlists to serve in the army, the novel establishes the idea that, even though he does not realize it, Henry's experiences on the farm have prepared him for the harsh realities of war. Answer option 2. By intentionally depicting Henry's mother, who lives her life in safety, in such a negative fashion, the novel suggests that those who do not personally experience war often tend to have an unrealistic or incorrect conception of it. Answer option 3. By showing the internal struggle that Henry endures as he decides whether or not to enlist in the army, the novel creates a scenario in which Henry is shown to have an instinctive understanding of the dangers of war from the very start. Answer option 4. By establishing that Henry initially views war as a wholly noble and soldiers as entirely gallant and heroic, the novel creates a situation in which Henry's actual experiences as a soldier in a war will fundamentally change his understanding of it. Please pause the recording and choose your answer for question 10. Question 11. What does the fact that Henry imagines battles as involving, quote, heavy crowns and high castles, quote, reveal? Answer option 1. Henry believes that war will not be a serious life event, but rather a dreamlike state of being. Question option 2. Henry's idea of warfare has been heavily influenced not by experience or reality, but by the heroic tales he has grown up with. Answer option 3. Henry wants to live the life of a simple farmer, but feels as though his country needs him to be a heroic warrior. Question option 4. Henry cares more about the spoils of war, the wealth and property he might accumulate, than about its dangers. Please pause your recording and choose an answer to question 11. Question 12. Henry's mother continues to work at milking the cow and peeling potatoes as she talks with Henry. How does her behavior help demonstrate the role of farming among families in 19th century America? Answer option 1. It demonstrates that the work on the farm must be done by men rather than women if it is to be completely effective. Answer option 2. It helps suggest that parents often sought to distract themselves with trivial tasks rather than facing the harsh or difficult truths at that time. Answer option 3. It helps suggest the high level of effort required by all members of a family living on a farm at the time. Answer option 4. It demonstrates that parents were more concerned with work than the decisions of their children at that time. Please choose an answer to number 12. Be sure to review your answers to questions 10, 11, and 12, as well as the passage from the Red Badge of Courage before listening on for the final test questions. At this point, you should have finished all questions on the Unit 1 test that come from new passages. The final questions today will come from The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, which we studied during the course of Unit 1. Here is question 13. Please refer to Explorations in Literature, your online textbook, for a complete version of this narrative and for the read aloud should you need one. In The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, Hilary Kronberg Inglis writes of fleeing from real bullets at an anti-apartheid protest. We had run faster than our legs could carry us from the young white boys with machine guns perched on tops of the Caspers, boys that looked just like my older brothers. What does this passage capture about Inglis's understanding of the situation in her country? Answer option 1. It captures her sense of how apartheid had divided her country against itself and turned ordinary people into enemies of one another. Answer option 2. It captures her understanding that she was willing to sacrifice her own life in order to topple an unjust regime. Answer option 3. It captures her sense of exhilaration and joy at standing up for justice and what she believed to be right. Answer option 4. It captures her understanding of the role her own family played in fostering injustice and maintaining the inequality of apartheid. Please pause the recording and choose an answer to question 13. Question 14. Refer to explorations in literature for a complete version of this narrative. Based on her descriptions in The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, how did her experiences as a young adult in an apartheid-era South Africa affect Hilary Kronberg Inglis? Answer option 1. Inglis's experiences taught her that brutality and violence from the authorities must be countered with armed resistance if injustice is to be overcome. Answer option 2. Inglis's experiences taught her that the struggle to fix injustice and inequality demands that ordinary people face their fears and take risks. Answer option 3. Inglis's experiences taught her that those in power during the apartheid era suffered from oppression just as those who protested suffered. Answer option 4. Inglis's experiences taught her that treating others with decency and honesty inevitably leads them to reciprocate and behave morally as well. Please pause your recording and choose an answer to question 14. Question 15. Refer to explorations in literature for a complete version of this narrative. Read this excerpt from The Light of Gandhi's Lamp, in which Hilary Kronberg Inglis describes some of the ways in which anti-apartheid activists were said to have died while in police custody. Like other people detained by the police for anti-apartheid activities, the details of his suicide were odd and suspicious. A detainee had slipped on a bar of soap or jumped from the 10th floor. How does this passage affect the text? Answer option 1. It helps convey the fragility of life in this part of the world, and it captures the sense that those who fought against apartheid were dealing with forces beyond their control or comprehension. Answer option 2. It helps convey the sense among many white South Africans that the deaths of anti-apartheid activists were the sad but unavoidable costs that must be paid in order to achieve equality. Answer option 3. It helps convey that Inglis, though she was an anti-apartheid activist herself, recognized the humanity of the police and believed that some were appalled by these odd and suspicious deaths. Answer option 4. It helps convey how questionable the official explanations of these deaths were, and it conveys the deep distrust that anti-apartheid activists felt towards the authorities. Please pause your recording and choose an answer to question 15. You have now completed all questions and read-alouds for the Unit 1 test, Literature with a Purpose. Please remember to go back and review all questions and answers and ask your teacher if you have any questions prior to submitting.